Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
I'm going to match your energy, and if you're going to bring false titles, I'll bring false titles.
They're not false. Your 6 are real. My 4 are real.
But they're old as hell.
So you can tell Rutledge that. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Amen. Because I'm here for whatever. If you get food poisoning from a place, do you go back?
Like for more food?
No, if you go back ever. Like you get a bad burger
Broadcasting
from a place.
live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside America's favorite Alex Gravatt. Here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
He is Alex G. I am Jim Rutledge. We're in the Everlight Solar Studio. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Primetime Woldersheim behind the glass. We have Pablo Iglesias in with us as well because we made the big news on KBN. The announcement, it's been on social media. We are adding Nolan Winter, Badgers starting big man, to the jump around, our daily, or not daily, once a week. At one
Surprise.
point, it was daily. So I still like to call it a daily Badger dedicated podcast. We don't do that anymore. I don't have that kind of time. But it is a weekly digital show on ESPN Madison's YouTube page. And Nolan Winter will join us tomorrow, I believe, at 12:30. Is that correct?
Thursday.
Today
is Tuesday. I almost slipped up on that too.
Sunday?
Yeah, actually, it's
so he'll
Friday.
be joining us
Surprise.
Thursday at 12:30. He'll be joining us every single Thursday through basketball season, and that includes through their last game of the year, whenever that is. So hopefully that's into April. And
National championship. Manifest it now.
We'll see. Hopefully that'd be fantastic. It would make Alex G correct that this would be the best team that Greg Gard has coached.
That would be nuts, yeah.
But we're excited for that, so we're going to have Pablo in here. We're going to start the show talking some Badger basketball here. And they have the Fighting Illini tonight. And I will reveal the pessimist in me. Everyone's excited, rightfully so. They kicked the snot out of Purdue. And Illinois is a good team.
Yeah,
like Illinois is
talented team.
They've already beaten. Illinois has gone 10-7 since they beat Wisconsin. They've been on a roll here, so they beat the heck out of an Oregon team here. So they're rolling a little bit, and they have NBA players. And Illinois passed Iowa recently as the Big Ten's highest scoring offense at 84 points per game. They're the conference leader in rebounds per game, so a big test for our guy Nolan Winter. They did lose to Michigan State, but Tom Izzo and that team is arguably as good, if not better, than Wisconsin. Now, the Illini are missing Morez Johnson Jr., broken wrist, so that will set them back. But they are a team that has some ballers. So this is going to be a tough one tonight, but the pessimist in me said they beat Purdue, and they're going to go ahead and then lose to Illinois. Hopefully I'm wrong, but Illinois is a good basketball team. It's not like you're losing to like a bum school.
No, and I don't think I don't know. Like, there is upset written on this. I don't love the feeling. You know what? You're our Badgers guy, Pablo. What do you think?
Where I'm curious to know, what are the matchups? How are they going to face off against Jakachonis and Ivicic? The guy that I think is really slippery is Kylan Boswell on Illinois.
Is that the Arizona transfer?
Yes. Yeah. So Kylan Boswell is a guy who's pretty slippery. That's where I think things could get a little dicey. With he's a strong guard. He's a smaller guard, but he's fast and he's strong. So how's he going to match up against your Kamari McGee's and everything tonight? But yeah, with the Badgers, you know what, Jim? I'm gonna go against this. Hey, I have covered the Badgers for a few years. A little not as I have not been around the Badgers as long as you have, but I know that there's that pessimism. But I'm gonna go the other way around on this one. I think this is the chance for Wisconsin to show that if they could win on Saturday, if they could beat Purdue for just, I don't know, it's been like, what was it? They had like 5 wins or something like that at Mackey Arena. They did not have a lot. They have not won a lot at Mackey Arena, and that was just a stepping stone to consistently keep proving themselves that they could win in March. They can be a really good team come this time around.
Go ahead. I was going to say, watching that game, there's something about that arena that is just fun. Like it's this full-on bowl. There's nothing special about it. It gives the same kind of vibes as Cameron Indoor for Duke. It's just an interesting place to play, and it's really cool to go in there and get the upset. But yeah, I'm pro Badgers in this one. I think that Nolan Winter's not going to go. I think he went 2 for 7 from 3 last time they played. I don't think that he's going to take as many 3-pointers, or at least I hope not.
Yeah.
And just go in there and be a big man.
And Pablo, help me out here. The Kasparis, what's his last name?
Kasparis Yakuchonis.
Yes. Kasparis Yakuchonis. He destroyed the Badgers the last time they played. He is 16-5. He's a Naismith Player of the Year candidate, 16 points, 5 assists per game. He is a legit top 10, probably maybe a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. And at the guard position, that's a position where it really matters in college basketball to be that supremely talented. So he's every bit of like what Tanjay is. And I mean, obviously maybe not on a college at a higher level, but as a peak performance ability, he's viewed as a guy that can be even better than what Tanjay is for the Badgers. Now, he scored 24 points their last meeting. The Badgers have to figure out how to slow that down. Badgers are not as good as they've been in the past defensively.
No.
And I feel like this game is going to be a lot of points. And I only joke it's more of like it would be a letdown game. I wouldn't call this, technically an upset, but I didn't call, if the Badgers lose to Illinois, I wouldn't call it like an upset. Maybe a surprise a little bit, but just like Wisconsin beating Purdue, there's the history of it. But look, Illinois doesn't play well on the road. And so they play well against Wisconsin. They got a winning streak over Wisconsin, but they don't play well on the road, at least not this year. So I know Wisconsin had a history of not playing, beating Purdue on the road, but I didn't call that like a major upset.
And I wouldn't say a major upset, but the Badgers are favorites. It's like, when the if the Packers had beaten the Vikings this year, would you have been shocked? No. Would it have been an upset? Yeah.
Yeah, this time around, I honestly think because Illinois has Wisconsin's number a little bit, and I know Wisconsin's ranked 11th, I just think Illinois is fully capable of winning this game. So it's going to be a battle. If the Badgers lose it, there's no shame in it.
Pablo, if the Badgers win this, what do they prove to you?
Look, I'll say this is the most confident that I feel for Wisconsin going into an Illinois matchup. I grew up watching Illinois basketball. I've known this matchup, even for the years that I've covered them, that Illinois just always felt like the stronger program. I still do think, like what Jim has said, they have quality players. They have players that can go pro. But I think for Wisconsin, this one proves that they can just still keep themselves at the top of the Big Ten ladder. And secondly, that, you know what, hey, that Saturday was not a fluke, that they can still hang with some of the best in the Big Ten. And like I said, it's not going to be a game that totally proves like everybody like wrong or this is a major upset type of vibe. But based off of the, I guess, big brother, little brother, if we want to put it that way, it's always felt like that Illinois was kind of this big brother going into the matchup, whereas this time around, it's little brother who ended up sprouting 6 more inches and is taller than Big Bro all of a sudden now. And that is what winning today or winning tonight for Wisconsin, that's what I feel like would be the indication.
So for me, it's more of like the level up because I'm still not really in the, I guess I'd call them the 4th best team in the Big Ten now. There's not major gaps in the Big Ten. If they beat Illinois now, that's like consistently like you were beating the teams above and below you. So then I kind of put them in like, all right, they're top 3 Big Ten team. If they lose to Illinois, I kind of keep them where they're at. Illinois is 17-9. The Badgers are 25. There's not some major, massive difference there. And the Badgers, look, the thing is they need to stay locked in. They got Oregon next, and that one's not going to be easy either. So they cannot let the Purdue win turn into like 2 losses here. Because if you go, they had a stretch here, and they had Iowa, then Purdue. And I said if they went 3-1 during the stretch, I'd be really impressed with this team. 2-2, I would be, okay, they're exactly who I thought I was. And then obviously they're not going to get worse than that. And then obviously they go all 4-0. Then all right, now we're having a conversation that maybe this team can be an Elite 8 or Final 4 team. It's still the problem is this is February and there's a basketball, especially college basketball. There is a it's not peaking, but it's clicking at the right time. And so like they could click now, and this team and not for any fault of their own, just might not be the same team, or someone on tape notices an adjustment that when March rolls around, all of a sudden they're figured out a little bit, and then hopefully they can make another adjustment. So being hot in February, even late February, doesn't guarantee anything. You want to be playing like this in the Big Ten tournament, and then you feel really good going in. But if they beat Illinois and Oregon, then I think they're a top 2 team in the Big Ten. If they lose these two, then they are who I thought they were, which is a top 4 or 5 Big Ten team.
Right. That's not a bad thing by any means. And also, I mean, to reiterate your point, yesterday on the Cardinals Talking text line, 844-770-3776, number one Bama fan, Pat McAfee show appearance haver, Sadler chimes in, and he says that, he's worried the team is peaking too early, which I think those losses to UCLA and Maryland a couple weeks ago kind of that pumps the brake on it to me. But the fact that this team is where it is despite the complete rebuild is, I mean, that's a feat in itself, don't you think, Pablo?
I feel like that, the way that this team is built, I feel like it's, we talked about this yesterday a little bit, G, is that this team is not, even with how great of players Johnny Davis was when he was here a couple years ago, he developed and ended up becoming a lottery pick last year with Chucky Hepburn and A.J. Storr. They were fun to watch. This team doesn't feel – those teams, honestly, for me, just felt a little top-heavy. This one doesn't feel like it's top-heavy. Yes, you get John Tonje leading the charge and being the great story of the sixth-year senior, but there are guys that are coming off the bench. There are guys that are contributing. I don't know if I feel like that this team is – I guess I don't know how else to say it, peaking at the wrong time or playing their best basketball at the wrong time, because, I mean, this is when you want to start heating up. This is when you really start to figure out who you are, and I think that's where the Badgers are. The Badgers, I'm not saying that they're completely perfect, but they are figuring out who they are, or they're very close to showing us exactly who they are and what team they could be. And like I said, not to get too high on my horse from this win on Saturday, but this really proved that you go into a tough Mackey Arena, you win that type of game, you score almost 60 points, 58 points in the second half, and you can prove that you can run with anybody.
So that's the thing. It proves they're capable. Doesn't prove to me that they're consistent enough to do it later in the year. I'm still excited about this team. I'm still excited what will happen, but beating Illinois, beating Oregon, finishing strong here is important. What do they do in the Big Ten tournament? Because just showing you're capable doesn't mean you're going to continually do it. That Johnny Davis team was capable at times. AJ, we've had this conversation, Pablo, and
yes.
We talked about it yesterday. I've had this conversation 3 times in the last 5 years that this is the year the team's going to really jump forward. So it's not specific to this team. I'm just saying you got to prove it to me. Also, we had someone chime in. Jake from the East Side, Underwood has lost the locker room, plus Morris Johnson broke his hand. Yeah, we know about Johnson. Losing the locker room, I don't know. They're 3-2 in February with the 2 losses to Rutgers, who's got 2 top 5 lottery picks on their team, and then they lost to Michigan State, which is a top 11 team in the country. So no shame there. They also have won some decent games there. They beat UCLA, who Wisconsin couldn't beat, and Ohio State's solid. So it's not like they got a win over Minnesota. It's not much of anything. But
did you watch the Michigan State game though? We were talking about this a little bit. They went cold.
Yeah,
towards
bad game.
the end.
Yeah,
it's a bad game.
And then it says Trey White benched in vague. So there's a lot of projection there.
Sure.
These are college kids. They could turn around in a second. Yeah, they got cold. And that doesn't mean they lost. That doesn't mean Underwood has lost the locker room because they got cold. They just got cold. Again, we're going to have a conversation. It could be tonight. It could be Saturday. The Badgers are going to go ice cold. We're thinking the first half against Northwestern. That was horrendous basketball just because the Badgers couldn't make a shot. So cold in college basketball to me is just par for the course. I think the Badgers are better than Illinois. I'm just not going to lose my mind if they lose to Illinois.
Yeah. One other just X's and O's question here, and I don't mean to get too into the weeds, but for the last 7 games, Tonje's been the highest scorer on the Badgers, and for the most part throughout the whole season, it's been whoever had the hot game. Do you think it's good or bad that Tonje, as the star, is getting hotter and more involved in scoring as we get closer to March?
So Bo Ryan, and this isn't the exact swing offense, but Bo Ryan used to say a long time ago when he had different, Marcus Landry was here, they had Devin Harris, there was Alondo Tucker, that position, Sam Decker, that forward position at times, especially now Decker and some of those guys played on more loaded teams, so then you have the ball in your hands and you're a playmaker. In this case, Tonje still in that playmaker spot is the same spot that Storr was in and Johnny Davis were in. It's a matter about making the right plays with the ball. And Tonje can score on all 3 levels. So as long as he's taking good shots, I actually saw a breakdown of I believe the Badgers lose to like Colgate in the tournament with Johnny Davis?
No, it was they beat Colgate and then they lost to Iowa State.
Okay, so but
that
Colgate
was
Johnny Davis
State.
did not have a great game there, and there was a player from Colgate talking about their plan for Johnny Davis, and it basically was like he kept on, let's make him shoot, and they kept on making him shoot, and he missed threes. Now he made some, he's a good player, but basically Johnny fell into their trap. And so, in this case, Tanjay just has to understand if they are allowing him the outside shot, it's not falling, then he just needs to make the right play, which I think they've done as a team. Get the ball to Winter, get the ball to Blackwell. Again, my concern with those three I like. The other guys, we know who they are. Those have been the guys who have not gotten it done in March. So, like, the Trinity here of Winter, Tanjay, and Blackwell, I think work well together.
Yeah, it's a lot more go-to guys versus just, hey, if this guy's off, it's a cold night. Obviously, you got to stay healthy, too, because Johnny Davis, we have to think about this, too. Going into that tournament, he was not 100%. He rolled his ankle against Rutgers. That was, if anything, that was a scarier situation from there because no one knew exactly what was going to happen that postseason if Johnny was even going to play. I remember sitting on the other end of the baseline, just barely seeing him trying to hobble back and forth out of the tunnel. He ended up not making his way out there. But what would have this looked like with a 100% Johnny Davis? And he was already not playing 100%. And then you lose Chucky Hepburn in that Iowa State game. Those were two bad punches that the Badgers had to get. So obviously, yes, you got to stay healthy. But the fact that they can rotate a bunch of different guys, and like I said, I'm sticking with the bench here, that I really love Jack Janicki and what he's provided. I don't think he's the only guy.
I like
on this
him, but
team.
he's a freshman.
Yes, he is a freshman. I'm not saying he's the go-to guy off the bench.
But that's good.
But provided a lot of good minutes. What do you mean it's not good?
He's not a freshman who's going pro tomorrow. Like he's a youngster.
No. But
so like
he's a guy who's playing a good role.
He is, but like, what does March do to him? Like I understand. I like what he's playing. I'm just saying that like that's a double-edged sword. Like literally the definition of it. Of like you're right. Maybe he's too young to realize the pressure that's on him. Or, and we could look at the Packers of the super young. Everyone loves the young team until the young team folds under the pressure. And I'm not saying Janicki will do that, but like the young player, for all of the good things about them, they are young and they sometimes crack under the immense pressure. Or they've been in a situation the first time, they don't know what it's supposed to be like. They'll be better the next time. And so I like it long term. But that's literally a double-edged sword. That could work against or for the Badgers.
100%. I just think, I will say, it gives me hope that this rebuild isn't just we hit on Tanjay and Blackwell, right? Like they had to completely redo how the Badgers score the ball, how they do everything because everyone left last year. And now we've got good players and good bench players who are freshmen. We're not in a situation where the Badgers are going to be the team that gets the high school recruit who goes straight to the NBA. Not yet. But could it happen? Maybe potentially. That's a long ways off. This is a step in the right direction of the future of the program, at least feels good.
Like we got to do this in layers because Greg Gard even referenced they're already in Sharif Chambliss when he was on with us on the jump around joke. They're like, hey, I'll leave that question for someone else. They have to recruit their own players. Like we all love Nolan Winter. Kyle Wallace made the joke on KBN. I hope Nolan stays. If Minnesota comes with the bag, what do we know? We don't know. Blackwell? You don't know. So, and I wouldn't fault the players. So we also just have to keep that in mind. I am not counting any player year over year.
That's fair.
Because someone could come with the bag. And that's where college basketball and college athletics is right now. I don't have a problem with it. I think Greg Gard, to look at the positive of it, Greg Gard has done it a few times now, where he's had to replace key parts of the roster, whether it's the traditional graduating or the non-traditional transfers. And I think that's the solace you take as a fan now, is that Greg Gard has seemed to be able to find the right recruits to jump in and just do it again. But I'm not counting on anyone back ever for Wisconsin. I don't fault the players or the coaches for that. That's just college basketball.
Yeah, that makes it hard. But, then going back to it, we see he is continuously refilling that cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
The funnel is full, and there's reason to be, at least excited the Badgers are not falling off the face of the earth, even if they are perhaps struggling a little bit to get back to the Sweet 16/Elite 8 era.
That we'd like them 16, 17 last time was Sweet 16.
Lucky Bob.
They don't go this year. We're talking pushing a decade.
Yeah.
Struggling. Come on.
I mean,
I'm a man.
They're not
I'm
great.
40.
It's like they're a good basketball team, but we just have to use the right word for. I mean, we're talking. It's look, we're all guilty of it. We do this with the Packers. Like we're pushing 11 years now, 12 years since the last Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
So that's just
a long time. Now, four NFC championships in that time. Like, that's at least a Sweet 16 appearance.
Neat. Titletown, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we're all
That
guilty
is
of it.
neat.
That's all.
I'm just trying to enjoy the ride here. That's all I'm trying to do. Just enjoy the ride.
Thank you, Pablo. That's what I needed. I need someone who's excited with me.
I'm with you, man.
I don't want to enjoy the ride because I feel like I don't have no guarantee.
Oh, there we go. Now we finally got
cut
it.
someone off and flip them off
I have
in
no
traffic.
guarantee. No, like in a ride here, I view it like a carnival ride. I don't have a lot of confidence that this ride is finished. Like,
we hope it's not.
But I mean, like, I feel like I'm gonna go flying off.
Yeah.
Like I want to make sure that the whole ride, that the ride comes to a nice stop in a comfortable place. The Sweet 16. If the ride comes to a stop at a Sweet 16, I'll be very happy with this team.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm willing to be happy, believing that it's happened. But I'm not 40. I'm not a man. I guess. Or wait,
what?
No,
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Thank you. That's what I was referencing.
Oh, why don't we just end the segment? Goodness gracious.
Oh, boy.
Right. Canopy Wealth Management, they are a fee-based firm. They don't chase commissions and never back gimmicks or instruments that chase single-day returns or put your long-term goals at risk. The team at Canopy creates strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. Canopy Wealth Management, care, competence, and clarity aren't just buzzwords. They're a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Mr. President? Agent Collins, come on in.
Catch the new Hulu original, Paradise. Some conspiracies are bigger than they seem.
When I became president, first thing I asked about was the secrets. Aliens, who killed JFK. You're the only one I really trust. And I want to tell you the truth.
Starring Sterling K. Brown, Julianne Nicholson, and James Marsden.
The biggest secret is right under your nose.
What aren't you telling me?
The Hulu original series, Paradise. New episodes Tuesdays, streaming on Hulu.
There are some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a large unexpected inheritance. An always on the verge of death phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone. Up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard so you can get a new one. Just trade in any phone from our top brands on any unlimited plan. With new line on my plan. Additional terms apply for trade-in and pay off your phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Staying on Wisconsin sports never stops with the Jump Around podcast.
I don't know if they're a Final Four team, and maybe this is just setting the bar a little low for me ever since I've watched the Badgers, since I've covered the Badgers. I think just making it to the second weekend. Obviously, you want to go all the way, but just make it to the Sweet 16.
If they make the Sweet 16 this year, it's an A+. Like, it is an A+ season for Badger basketball if they make the Sweet 16.
The Jump Around podcast with Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias. Streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Jim Rutledge, Alex G with you. You can see our handsome faces on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Primetime is there as well.
Okay.
Sorry. Well, he's not on the stream that often.
I didn't do it on purpose like that, but as I set it up, I'm like, it does look like it. Actually, the SNL 50, they did one of my favorite skits where I actually made a reference in this against Jim, Matt, and Molly. No Molly, no Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. We are presented by Coors Light. On the SNL 50 is Kristen Wiig does a skit where they're like on the Lawrence Welk show, and they are three sisters singing, and then the fourth sister reveal is Kristen Wiig with like a giant forehead and tiny little hands.
Yes. That's so
and
good.
It goes like, and I'm Judy.
You
and
lit liquor.
With Ryan, all of a sudden it's like, and I'm prime time.
You lit liquor.
So, anyways, I came into the segment in a jovial mood because this Onion headline truly had me cracking up. Numerous teams expressed interest in Aaron Rodgers playing elsewhere, which I think sums up the Aaron Rodgers free agent experience right now.
Yeah, it does. It's just crazy how, like, far from grace he fell. Like, there was a time.
When was the last time he was in grace?
Oh, I mean, it was before the darkness retreat.
Yeah.
When the Broncos wanted him, he was the MVP.
So the year
of the
before
league.
his last year in Green Bay.
Yeah. You've got a team that is going all in to get a guy who might not even come, and ultimately didn't. They end up getting Russell Wilson. It's a whole ordeal. It's a debacle. It's terrible. But, like, that was Aaron Rodgers pulling strings from afar, and I think that might have been where the true fall from grace happened.
844-770-3776 is the Carbless Talking text line. I have a Siding Unlimited poll question here, and it actually ties around Aaron Rodgers' good friend Davante Adams. And Sports Illustrated has that the Davante Adams was reportedly intrigued by the Chargers. I think that would be really good for him, and on a personal and professional level.
Yeah.
He would love to be out there. I think Jim Harbaugh is an elite coach. I think having Justin Herbert throwing him the ball, I think that team is ready to really make a massive jump forward, and that's a team that already made the playoffs last year, and Justin Herbert hasn't had a guy healthy for seasons. Like, Keenan Allen's not. I mean, Davante Adams and Keenan Allen are different. Like, Davante Adams, especially the Keenan Allen, so Keenan Allen was 33 this last year, so you got probably 30 to 33-year-old, maybe 29-year-old Keenan Allen, but he's always been a power slot. Davante Adams is a legit number one. Keenan Allen's been more of a power slot receiver.
Right.
So having a guy like that for Justin Herbert, Davante Adams would be big. But obviously Packer fans would love to have him back here in Wisconsin. Jason Wilde, who's coming up next, has said that sources close to, is it Davante, have told Jason that sources close to Davante have told Jason that he wants to, that Davante be open to Green Bay. So I just want to make sure if it wasn't sources closest to Jason or sources close to Davante that told him that.
The punctuation means a lot in this sentence right here.
Yes. So I just wanted to get that right. So Packer fans would want him here. He seems open to coming here. But he is good friends with Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers might sign somewhere. But this could be part of the calculation for our poll question here, our Siding Unlimited poll question. Where do you think Davante Adams would rather play next season? Now, I do want to ask a third to this. I'll ask you guys first, throw it out there. So the options are with Jordan Love and the Packers, with Aaron Rodgers on Team X. But with the Chargers news, should we just stay state of California? Should we add that as a third option?
No, because he wanted to go to the Raiders even when he knew they were moving to Vegas. I don't think playing
But that's
in
still
California.
out west. Oh, just out west. I think getting out west is still important to him.
I think it matters. I think for what we're asking, we want to know more which player would he rather play with. Not where would you rather play, who would you rather play with.
I think he'd rather play with Aaron Rodgers, but Green Bay...
even after last year.
I think he would. I think they're legitimate friends. I just think that two parts to the answer to this one. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is playing anywhere, and I don't know if Davante... Like, if Aaron Rodgers is in Tennessee, probably not. If somehow Aaron Rodgers ended up in Pittsburgh,
or let's say Matt Stafford is moving out because the Rams decide they can't pay him. Mm-hmm. They can pay Aaron Rodgers because I imagine Matt Stafford probably has a higher demand than Aaron Rodgers at this point. And so they decide to do 1-year loaner with Aaron Rodgers. They go and get Davante.
You're talking about the Colin Cowherd trade, the Giants trade for Matthew Stafford, and then the Rams sign Aaron Rodgers as a stopgap as they trade down and then draft a quarterback next year?
Something like that.
Okay.
It could happen. I mean, it's not likely to happen, but I think that would be – you'd be hard-pressed to find a situation.
But you're backing my point that if Davante, if all things were equal and Aaron Rodgers went to a team that had playoff chances, I think Davante would take that team over Green Bay and over Jordan Love. Now, if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Titans, different. Pittsburgh, yeah, I think Davante seriously consider that over Green Bay. I also, and I wish I knew where I saw this, but there was an idea that was not completely insane, but Aaron Rodgers ending back up in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Now, Brock Purdy has a year left on his deal, so he would need to be dealt. But the idea is San Francisco doesn't want to make the same mistake that the Packers may have made with Jordan Love and paying Brock Purdy $55 or $60 million per year, and you're on the hook for a guy who, now Purdy had more proof in the pudding than Jordan Love did, but it's, obviously what Vikings are trying to avoid with Sam Darnold. Do not think for a second that teams aren't looking at Jordan Love saying, hey, he's good, but we don't want to be in that situation and paying good $55 million when we're supposed to be paying for MVPs. Yeah. And so that could be part of the calculus with the 49ers and Brock Purdy. So the 49ers could say, you know what, trade him, then we bring in Aaron Rodgers for a year or two, just the same plan you talked about with the Rams. And then all of a sudden you draft a QB either this year or next later in the draft if you're the 49ers, and then you say, all right, we got someone to step up, and we have someone who can help us win now. Go ahead.
Davante should, and I don't know him, right? I'm not there. He obviously likes Aaron Rodgers, which at a certain point just gets kind of crazy to like Aaron Rodgers, but like he should want to go play for the team that gives him the best chance to win a Super Bowl. At this point in his career, with the amount of money he's made, the amount of success he's had, it feels like that is the thing that I would be shocked if
Why
that's
would
not
he think
most
that's Green
important. Bay? And again, I'm not saying it necessarily is.
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse will help you have a Super Bowl type experience when you're out at a happy hour. The Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl happy hour. They got the horseshoe bar, not a full bowl, but it's a good horseshoe bar.
Nice.
And you can go out there and get an old fashioned, get yourself Coors Light, have a steak sandwich. I feel like we're going to be at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse sooner than later, and a Coors Light old fashioned steak sandwich sounds perfect after the show. But go say hi to Lee. Go say hi to Kevin over at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Jason Wilde next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Drum roll, please.
Carbliss is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great Carbliss perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in store wherever Carbliss is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why Bliss is more with Carbliss.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
This is our crew.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball is coming to ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Every pitch, every dramatic moment, every
fly ball left field. Back. Still back. It is up and gone.
Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers. 100.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now is the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get 0 interest financing for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Jason, quick
You
question.
are one of one.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Help me understand a little bit more clearly what you're asking.
Did you ever hear it called Don't Go Jason Waterfalls?
Is this Matt Hamilton?
So I kind of just thought of this question on the spot. So it needs to be workshopped a little. I'm not going to lie.
That's the same as Matt.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar studio. I am Jim Rutledge alongside Alex G. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. And we are thrilled to be joined by Jason Wilde. Matt Hamilton is curling. Molly's still out with babies, but she returns early next month. And Jason, I know obviously you don't write your own headlines, but I feel like you appreciate a good headline, especially from The Onion. And I wanted to get your response to the headline here. Numerous teams expressed interest in Aaron Rodgers playing elsewhere.
Yeah, I saw that too. That was pretty funny. I did chuckle, which I needed a good chuckle after watching our boy from the wildly popular program Matt and Gravats go down to defeat today at the U.S. Olympic team trials. That was a big-time bummer. So I needed that headline from The Onion. I saw it about 4 different places as I cleaned off the red dots on my various social media pages.
Yes, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Kind of seems to, what's the word here? Put a big exclamation point on the Aaron Rodgers experience right now in free agency. Do you think he's going to land somewhere?
I do. I don't think he sucks as bad as people want to believe that he sucks. 1 and 2. I'm really curious to see if he has it in him to say, you know what, I have lots of opinions, but I want to play football more. I don't want to go out the way that last season with the Jets went. So I'm going to, for lack of a better term, shut up and dribble. And if a team doesn't want me to go on McAfee, I'm not going to do it. I can always do that when my career is over. But I'm going to go out there and show everybody that's betting against me, just like the coach at Purdue who sent the message, the letter that said, good luck with your attempt at a college football career, and all the people that watched me sit in the green room hour after hour during the 2005 draft. And I want to do all that. I've been known for having this chip on my shoulder for my entire football life, and now I got a new one. And if that means I've got to set aside some of the stuff that people find off-putting about me, so be it, because I'm going to go out there and win, and I want to go win the Comeback Player of the Year and the MVP award in 2025. So I'm not going to decide who's playing on my team. I'm not going to decide how they have to adjust to me. I'm going to go in there and play really good football for some team that needs me. If he can do that, which I don't know right now if he can or he can't, but if he can, I think the guy can still play. I went back on NFL Plus and looked at some of the games, and he is definitely not as mobile as he was, obviously, but looks to me like he can still sling it. So I don't know what he's prepared to do. It's like that line in, well, Gravatt won't get this, but in The Untouchables where Sean Connery says to Kevin Costner, "What are you prepared to do?" I want to see what Aaron Rodgers is prepared to do.
I think that's interesting. We want to ask.
Hold on. Do you know what The Untouchables is?
I know I have not seen it though.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
Yeah, and by the way, can I give a coaching point here?
Yeah.
You clearly wanted to. Gravatt clearly wanted to switch gears.
Yeah.
Don't bother with that. I find that interesting, or whatever that segue was, because it doesn't even sound heartfelt. It's just like, I want to get to my point now, so I need to find some sort of filler to transition.
And that's what triggered me to ask the question then. Because I was like, you're just moving past that so fast. I was like,
I moved. It went over my head.
And so now I'm more curious about this. So Untouchables, like, what do you know?
About that much. I've heard of it. I know it's a movie, right?
What's up with that?
Yes.
I mean, I've not seen it.
All right. I mean, it's also a group of law enforcement agents led by Elliot Ness who fought Al Capone, the crime syndicate in Chicago. So it's like,
oh, that is interesting. Okay, fun fact. One of my elementary school buddies.
Al Capone gave you a cookie?
Yeah, no. One of my elementary school buddies, his grandpa.
Is it organized crime?
Yeah, his grandpa was the getaway driver for Al Capone whenever he went up to my hometown because he loved Elkhart Lake, which he was a part owner in the resort that I ended up working at through high school.
So you should see Untouchables.
All right, yeah, I'll mark it down.
You should. One more thing, you should, because it's a period piece, obviously set during Prohibition. So even though it's an old movie from, like, I don't know, Jim, what is that, like 1988 maybe?
Yeah, or very early 90s, somewhere in that range.
So it's obviously an old movie,
87.
but because it's there you go. But because it's set in a specific era, it like I was just the reason I say it and the reason I brought it up is it's in heavy rotation right now on Showtime, and I'm an old person who still watches cable as opposed to streaming things.
Okay.
So I tend to watch a lot of things that I wasn't planning on watching, which I like that experience, as opposed to I have a list of things that I want to watch, and it's on my list.
You know what?
Netflix.
That's the underrated, I would say the only positive about cable. You don't just drop into a movie anymore. You have to you get frozen by like kind of a paralysis by analysis of like what should I start,
and then I just keep watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine again because why not?
Exactly.
I fall into the same pattern.
Or Law and Order for me.
Yeah,
Jason,
I highly recommend it. It is I will put it up there as one of the great American movies in history.
Wow.
And I think that it has been borne out if you look at some of the things that have been written about the greatest films in American history. It is in the conversation.
Yeah,
so
Kevin
it is
Costner.
Worth your time.
Go ahead. So I finished because I was going to give the rundown.
No,
here.
I'm good. Go ahead. I'm
Kevin
done.
Costner, Sean Connery, Andy Garcia, Robert De Niro are the names that you would know in that. So that's kind of
great cast.
Patricia Clarkson's maybe someone you've seen as well and some things. So it is a star-studded cast, high-end director, and cinema.
But Jason, you said that you just find yourself watching TV. You have multiple children. You are on radio for 3 hours in the morning, and then you do spots on every show we have.
What are you, his manager now?
When do you find time to just watch
when
TV?
Are you watching TV? Work from home.
So that's actually a great question. Because I don't really. Here's the thing: I don't really watch TV. I have the TV on. So
it's old school, like it.
From my writing career, obviously, I've been doing I wrote my first story professionally for the Capital Times in the fall of 1991, which is well before you were born, G.
A couple years. Thank you.
And I am used to being in loud environments, whether it's in arenas or stadiums or press boxes where guys are yapping all the time. So when I write, I like to have some sort of background noise. And I want to put on something that I've seen before. So then it's the noise is there, and I might glance up at it on occasion, but I'm not going to get engrossed in it by say, I still haven't watched the third season of Ted Lasso because of the schedule that I keep with all the girls' activities and everything else, because I can't watch that while I'm writing, because then 45 minutes will go by and I won't have written a word, and I'll be looking up at the screen and going, oh, I didn't write anything because I was engrossed in that. So like the Untouchables, you know, I can look up when I don't want to spoil it for you since you're going to go home and watch it tonight. I can loan you the VHS tape if you need it. But anyway, that's how I operate.
Is there, so like if you're writing a story or you're just hitting a block, right? It's the middle of the offseason, you don't know what you're doing. Is there a movie that you go to that you're like, this is the white sound that I need to write?
God, and by the way, white sound, that is really white noise, white sound. That's a really good line. That's exactly what it kind of is for me. So well done. I would say there's a couple of them. Another movie that seems to be in heavy rotation is Jack Reacher.
Okay.
The Tom Cruise version. Not the show that I would actually like to watch on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's on my list too, Jason. Yeah.
Right. So I can't watch it.
Haven't gotten around to it yet.
So it's that Shawshank always when it comes on, always works for me. Shooter with Mark Wahlberg, another good one to just have on in the background. That's kind of what I've had on. And then Law and Order. I've seen every Law and Order episode, all 466 or whatever they are, multiple times. Coach Dick Bennett and I used to have long conversations. I went and interviewed him at his house once after he retired, and it turned into a discussion of our favorite Law and Order episodes because he and I just always watched reruns of Law and Order, which the fact that I'm comparing myself to a 75, 76, 78-year-old man tells you everything you need to know about me.
So, I mean, I love this insight into Jason Wilde. We got to get some Packers stuff because, look, I also find some of those shows almost cathartic or therapeutic. Big Chill is a movie that I can put on. The soundtrack's amazing, and it hits me every time I watch it. It hits me on a different stage of life, and it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. But then Frasier and MASH, I've probably seen a million times.
You're a MASH guy.
Oh yeah. So if I'm doing my day job here at ESPN Madison, if I'm at home, those are just on. Just on in the background. I had a thought. And so and I got a question here for Jason Wilde in a second. It's just how my brain works. I also get a little notification like, hey, Jim, you got a thought. But same thing. There you go.
There it is.
In the criminal justice system.
Oh, no.
In the ESPN Madison radio show, we have Jason Wilde on, and we should ask him a Packer-related question. So we're going to do that right now. And we asked the question, our silent limited poll question is, if Davante Adams had his choice, do you think he'd want to go with Jordan Love and the Packers to play next year or go where Aaron Rodgers goes? Because I think that's a true friendship. How? I don't know, but it seems like it is. So what do you think? Weird. Like, if he had his choice, do you think Davante would rather play with Jordan Love and the Packers or go play wherever Aaron plays?
I think he'd rather go with the Packers.
Okay.
And I also think that because of how things have kind of played out for him the last couple of years, Tausch made a really great point today about the fact that essentially every decision that he has made with where to go in his career the last several years has backfired, right? I mean, he thought it was a good idea to go with Derek Carr, and then that Raiders thing went. I mean, remember, he was a first-team All-Pro that first year with the Raiders, regardless of how things played out with Derek Carr. But then he went to the Jets, and obviously that was a complete abject failure too. So I think, going places for specific people does not appear to work. And so I think he's probably more, look, first of all, as we kind of started this conversation, like, who the heck knows where Rodgers is going to land?
Right.
And when, right? And so he, I think it's important to keep in mind that Adams not only does not have a Super Bowl, so he clearly wants to win. So if somehow, say, the Chiefs were to have an interest in him, I would think he'd have to seriously consider that, right? I mean, he doesn't want to miss out on an opportunity. He arrived in 14. He went to the 14, 16, 19, and 20 NFC championship games and never got to the Super Bowl. So that is a hole on his resume. But speaking of resumes, the guy wants a gold jacket. And I think he's been, my analysis of guys that merit the Hall of Fame were they the best player at their position for an extended period of time? And for at least 3 years and maybe more, he was, if not the best wide receiver, number 1 or number 2 or maybe number 3. And he needs to get back to a place of substance and a place where he's going to get the football and his team is going to win. And that obviously did not happen with the multiple years that he wasted in Vegas and now the year he wasted in New York. So I think those are parts of the equation for him. I don't think the Packers are very far off, even though it sometimes feels that way with them. So I would be willing to guess that makes a lot more sense for him than wherever Rodgers goes.
So I saw, and we're talking with Jason Wilde, and I saw a report that Davante finds the Chargers intriguing, and the Chargers would check a box of getting him closer to home. Justin Herbert, I think, is more proven commodity, and is honestly a major arrow pointing up now that he has a real offensive-minded coach in Jim Harbaugh. That could be checking multiple boxes for Davante. So how real of I don't want to say threat, but it seems like the Packers are in good positioning here, but the Chargers do seem equally important and warmer and closer to home.
Yeah, I wrote that story last week that that he's open to the idea of a reunion with the Packers. I think it's important to note, though, that he didn't say he was, or the source close to him didn't say that he was, like, dying to get to the Packers or wants to rejoin the Packers. The choice of the word open I thought was important because I don't know. I think he wants to keep his options open, right? And nobody can blame him for that. So whether it's the Rams or the Chargers, who are both in L.A., which is close to home for him, the 49ers, who are moving on from Deebo Samuel, they might be able to flip the script and get back to being what they have been. I don't personally believe that, but it's possible. I would think that he wants to go to a place where he feels good about the chances of winning and the idea of comfort of being, he's from East Palo Alto, California. So the 49ers are the closest proximity-wise to home. I'm sure he would have no trouble selling his home in Las Vegas and finding another place. Hey, he can go play for the Titans, and all those guys can live in the same neighborhood outside of Nashville. But I think he really wants his gold jacket, and he really wants to win. And so I think he wants to keep his options open. And I think the Chargers, even though they got bounced in the first round of the playoffs, they've got a really good young quarterback. They've got a good defense. They've got a legit coach. Those are all reasons to see them as a viable option.
So if he's going to go somewhere that's going to be a championship caliber team, do you think that he sees that coming back to the Packers?
I think he sees them as a more likely championship caliber team if he's playing for them. And you got to look at where they're at wide receiver wise. Like, I think realistically, let's not forget, first of all, he's not washed. Like, he may have, things may not have gone well for him in New York or in Vegas, but I don't think that's a him problem.
Didn't he still have 1,000 yards?
He did in 14 games and partial games in some of those instances. So, yes, I don't think he's washed. And so, if I'm him, I'm looking at the Packers going, all right, these guys play the Eagles as tough as anyone. They have a legit defense with a legit defensive coordinator. They run an offense that I spent 3 years in under LaFleur. They're familiar with me. and they have a need at wide receiver. Like, he said that on the Kay Adams show, and he's right. Like, Watson will be back in November at the earliest, given when he tore his ACL. We don't know what the future holds for Romeo Doubs with his staying home from work that one time, being unhappy, and then having 2 concussions in the second half of the season. Neither Reed nor Wicks made huge jumps forward in year 2 like you were expecting. He's and I keep saying this, but I believe this, he's the perfect, like, interim number 1 guy, as opposed to say, hey, let's give up draft capital when they franchise tag T. Higgins and acquire him from the Bengals. You're married to him as your number 1 for the next 5 years then. Davante can be the number 1 for the next 2 years while those other guys grow into that role, and then sometime in year 2 of him being back, one of those guys can surpass him the way Davante surpassed Jordy Nelson during the 17th season. And he can, unlike Jordy, who Goody foolishly got rid of, he could still stay on the roster and help that next guy and be the number 2 guy or the 2B guy. I just think it makes too much sense. I really want to know if Goody actually has an interest in him or not. I did text him today because I promised Strofe I would, and Goody did not reply, so I do not know.
So I know that it makes sense, right? It feels good. As a Packer fan, I would love to see it. Like 17 is one of my favorite numbers. I'm a big fan of Davante. I've liked him the whole time. But I'm struggling, and I'm not on the inside, obviously, but I'm struggling to see a world where it's realistic that he's just going to let bygones be bygones and come back to Goody. Can you lay this out where that is a possibility?
Yeah, it ain't show friends, Gravad. It's show business. And he needs a job, and he needs a job at a place that's going to get him the Super Bowl opportunity and the gold jacket opportunity. And maybe there are better places, and he'll choose there. But if he doesn't have a ton of options that check those boxes, I think the Packers have a lot to offer for him. And so I think, unlike me, who's really bad about holding grudges, I think he can probably say, for the betterment of my career, I'm going to look past the fact that this guy screwed up by not extending me before the 21 season.
Jason, awesome insight as always. We appreciate it.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
That interview was maybe untouchable.
Oh,
there.
Come on.
Prime time. All right. It's Dame time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks podcast presented by Gallagher. Explore Bucks superstar Damian Lillard's unlikely journey from a two-star high school prospect to a top 75 player in NBA history. Narrated by senior NBA insider Chris Haynes, this series reveals exclusive details of Dame's trade to the Bucks and experience with the team. Find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefit consultant. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. John Tonji, a game-high 32 points in Wisconsin's 94-84 win at number 7 Purdue. His post-game words citing teamwork made the dream work. Audio courtesy CBS Sports.
We're just trying to make a play, for our teammates. I want to give a shout out to all my guys, from the top to bottom. And Kamari McGee got ejected, and that's my brother. And we wanted to get it. We told him in the locker room at halftime, we're going to get this win for you. And we came out here and competed. And I'm so proud of these guys for this.
20 wins now for Bucky, the 7th time they've reached that mark under Greg Gard. They'll host Illinois Tuesday night.
Get 0% interest for up to 6 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Our team installs year-round, so why wait? Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
They did it again. For the 5th time, Siding Unlimited, the 30-year-old Wisconsin family-owned company, is the Pella Window and Door Company's Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year in the whole USA. Siding Unlimited is here in Madison with a dynamic outside-in showroom. See Siding Unlimited's window, door, roofing, deck, and other great outside stuff inside at 2018 South Stoughton Road, south of Buckeye. See Siding Unlimited's frequent Instagram posts or go to sidingunlimited.com.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed Wisconsin business technology company. 20-year James client Daniel Bertelson, CEO at RE/MAX Preferred.
Reliability and consistency are the key to any successful business, and for our networking and digital solutions, they've been that right along with us for all these years.
Local reliability and consistency has also had a positive impact for Baker Manufacturing. Purchasing Manager Jennifer Wilger.
It helps keep us efficient and productive, and we can keep our minds on what's really important, and that's taking care of our customers.
And Josh Gavel, Service Manager with Kirsch Appliance, also depends on the reliability and consistency of local service from James Imaging Systems.
Yeah, you get somebody that knows what they're doing, come in here and get it done in 5 minutes, and we're not having to take our time to do it.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by Milwaukee Brewers Baseball on ESPN Madison. Listen to every game this season, starting with opening day on March 27th, right here on Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers Baseball, 100.5 ESPN. And big game in Madison tonight as the Wisconsin Badgers, the number 11 ranked Wisconsin Badgers men basketball team, taking on their border rivals Illinois at the Kohl Center. Badgers currently slated as 3.5-point favorites against the Fighting Illini, though they did lose to the Illini earlier this season, one of their early losses in the conference schedule. The 20-5 Badgers looking to avenge that one now that the Illini come up north as an unranked squad. Badgers currently 3.5-point favorites per ESPN Bet. That game will tip off at 7:30 from the Kohl Center. And some big news here for ESPN Madison. Badgers big man Nolan Winter is now an official weekly guest on the Jump Around that streams every Thursday starting at 12:30 on ESPN Madison's YouTube page. Catch Nolan chatting with Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias about everything Badgers basketball this season. Second hour of Jim, Matt, and Molly with Jim Rutledge and Alex Gravett starts right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
I'm going to match your energy, and if you're going to bring false titles, I'll bring false titles.
They're not false. Your
They're
6 are real. My 4 are real.
But they're old as hell.
Amen.
Because I'm here for whatever. Do they still give out Oreos at dry cleaners?
What?
Huh? Is that not a thing?
Wait, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Your family never told you don't take candy from strangers.
I wasn't going in alone. I was 4. I don't know. I don't know why this is a big deal.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside America's favorite Alex Gravatt. Here's Jim Rutledge.
Hour number 2 of Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I'm Jim Rutledge. He is Alex G. We are presented by Coors Light. The Monster Blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
I do have the power. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube. Primetime Wollersheim with us as well. Matt Hamilton curling with his sister. They lost today. Prime, you're our curling expert. What does that mean?
It means they didn't score as many points as the other team, unfortunately.
So they done?
I do not
believe
believe
like a round robin.
They are still sort of in the group stage, round robin stage. I guess there's a lot of terms you could use for it. But
Pool play?
Pool play? Yeah, I think so. They still are scheduled for another game tomorrow at noon. So you can watch that one on Peacock as well. Alex G, what sound does Peacock make?
Scrawl!
Yeah, okay. Well,
I like birds.
Yeah, go watch it on Peacock rather than listen to Alex G's Scrawl. But yes, Matt Hamilton and Sister Becca did fall today, 7-6.
Who'd they lose to?
I had it pulled up here earlier. They had such stupid names, the team they lost to.
It's just last names, by the way.
Yeah.
It's last names. Yeah. I'm not.
I would say he does not want to lose to Dropkin or Schuster.
No.
Ooh.
So Schuster those are his teammates.
Yep. Well,
John
Dropkin's
Schuster.
not, but John Schuster,
Dropkin.
yes. Yep.
Dropkin does play today. They actually beat Team Schuster and Gibbing. They lost to them 9-1.
Oof.
John Schuster and his partner did. But the Hamiltons lost to Weldon and Franey. Lost in 8 ends, 7-6. Yeah. Hamilton and Hamilton, like that is just a law firm. I mean, come on.
I was gonna say, if I didn't have Gruber, I'd go there for sure.
Absolutely. Riley Yauch's in the bullpen here wearing a Brewers shirt.
That is.
We got Brewers baseball on ESPN Madison Saturday, right?
Spring training debut.
Spring training, yes. So I'm excited for that. I asked because it is horrible outside. Riley's trying to bring some warmth into the office by thinking baseball. I did some outreach today for some golf courses, and I basically said I'm trying to think warm thoughts because it's frosted, it's frozen death currently in Madison.
Is this the coldest day of the year?
I don't know.
It's just not okay.
Here's the thing: yesterday sucked, today sucked, tomorrow's gonna suck. Thursday less sucky, and then Friday to the weekend. Then it's like 30s, 40s. Now it's livable again here.
I think I'm going to go up north and ski on Saturday. I'm pretty excited.
There you go. I mean, these are the days where, honestly, everyone should just be allowed. You know what? Shut it down. You want to talk about trying to save the environment? There should just be days where it's like, you know what? It's below zero. Everyone just stay home. Just whatever. Your job, I mean, there's a few people that have important jobs that need to be out and about, but everyone else, your job ain't that important. Do some work from home.
I genuinely believed for a moment when I woke up this morning, I could feel the cold radiating off of my bedroom window. I was like, my goodness. And I thought for a second,
that's weird that cold radiates. I like it.
We're going to have a cold day like we had in high school when it got too cold. Like, school's canceled. And I'm like, I'm 27 years old. I don't know what got unlocked overnight as I slept, but that's just not, it's not even close.
I took a cold day today. I worked from home until I needed to come in.
Yeah.
I might take one tomorrow, too. I got a couple Zoom meetings. I got a lot of work done.
You waited till the very warmest part of the day to come into the office, actually. You got here, what, 3?
Yeah,
that's the
3
warmest
degrees or 3 o'clock.
Probably both, actually.
Let's be honest.
But that's the warmest point of the day. You know it's cold when your car makes noises like it's cold.
Oh, that's the nice thing. Underground heated parking.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable on
this
the
guy. This
well,
guy.
And I got you beat because I got my big blue truck from Sidney Chevy in Mount Horeb. But I also have a remote on my obviously, I have a remote start for the truck, but then I have a remote on my garage door. So I can literally open the garage door from my phone and then start the truck and never have to go outside. The unfortunate part is I am a good husband, and so we take our girls to school. They go to 2 different schools, so we take turns to which one we're going to take to school, but we both need our cars. My wife's Jeep Grand Cherokee, a little bit older, good car. The remote start, she ain't firing up. So she'll do it on day 25 degrees and up, but right now,
so when you want it the most,
so I got to go out there and start it. This is a new problem. Obviously, the joys of paying off a car and then random dumb things happening immediately afterwards. I don't even know if you want to chime in and tell me on the Car Bus Talking text line 844-770-3776. Why is the remote start getting faulty? I'm hoping it's maybe just like a battery because the car is 7-8 years old, so maybe a new battery would solve that problem. That's my fingers crossed. Not realistic. Hope there, but it's awful outside, and I don't want to participate in it. And my kids are too little to be out in this weather. I mean, they're not doing recess or anything, so it's not like I can take them sledding. And so, it's just you get home and you shut it down.
It's the perfect day. I've scheduled a virtual hangout with my buddies because I've got a friend in LA, a friend in Florida, and a friend in Duluth, Minnesota, where it's even colder than it is here. And we haven't hung out in a while. So the perfect day. We've set up an indoor virtual game session. And so I'm very excited to play board games with my friends and not be outside for most of the night. I know that yesterday I was talking about ice skating and skiing during this weather. Sometimes it's just my face hurts.
Wait. You just said you're virtual gaming with your friends.
Yeah.
So wait, these aren't video games though.
No, board games.
You're board gaming.
We're gonna play Catan. Have you ever played Settlers of Catan?
I've played Settlers of Catan. I've never set up a video chat for it.
Cool.
Yeah, I am a nerd. I am not some cool guy.
But it's the way you set that up. You're like, I have a virtual video game hangout session with my friend.
How would you describe?
Can I just chime in here?
Yeah.
You're not a nerd because you're playing on Zoom. You're a nerd because you're playing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I have a board game cabinet filled with games that are not like easily accessible. They like hours of rules.
So I like board games, but I immediately glaze over the second the rules start getting told to me.
So you don't like board games?
Well,
You're competitive.
Once I know how to play, it's a good time. You think I'm competitive? And I am. My oldest is awful. It's bad. And I was her when I was her age as far as the competitiveness, and it's like, goodness gracious. This is a lot. Nobody liked me then. I guarantee. She's a lot to deal with. She does not handle losing at all. At all. Actually, it wasn't my proudest moment, but she was picking on her sister. So we played Candyland. And my wife won. Candyland's obviously just kind of a game of chance there. My wife wins quickly. I said, all right, game over. We lost. But then my oldest just couldn't handle losing, and so then she kept on. She came in second place and started giving my youngest some crap for being third, and I'm like, we're all losers. And she started getting really mad. I'm like, no, there's no second place in Candyland. We all lost. Mom won, and then she got because she was basically I did it because she was trying to give my youngest to try to get her all upset, get her to cry. So I was like, all right, we need to stop this because we all lost. And I kept on saying it. I was like, we're all losers. Mom won. If you ain't first, you're last. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Do you in a game like Candyland, you don't finish it, right? I mean, if you want to finish it just because but at that point you can start the game over. Just start again. So I just don't understand finishing the game. It's a quick game, just play it again. You don't play it out.
So there are some games, and again, I am in on board games.
I can think of one game that's I'm trying to think of games that normal, Settlers of Catan, yes, that's a popular game, but that's not a family sort of game. I'm trying to think family games.
Right.
What ones do you play out?
Because certain games will say finish out the turn to see if somebody else can get there. Those things happen, but no, you don't. Even in cribbage, which is just the easy board game I've got, or the peg card game, I've got one with 3 tracks, and you don't see who gets second place.
No, you don't sorry. You don't finish out sorry.
Once someone wins, the point is to win, not to find the pecking order in that.
What do you don't know sorry?
Sorry? Wait,
what?
Oh, sorry. Oh, gotcha. Okay. My mind was in weird places.
He went, sorry, how you'd apologize to someone. He's like, oh, no, the game sorry? Big Wisconsin,
Yeah, a little bit. Honestly, when you said Catan, my mind is so on weird board game names. I thought sorry was spelled TSARIE or something.
I'm talking about children's games.
Yes, I understand now. Geez, nerdiness has just completely messed up my mind.
I played a 20-hour board game once.
I bet you did.
It was nuts. It took a solid 2 hours.
I will say this, and you're right. I'm not a huge board game person because it's in the name. You play it because you're bored, or / it'll make you bored. So that's one of those life philosophical questions. Are you bored because you're playing a board game, or are you playing a board game because you're bored?
What's better, card games or board games?
I'm not a big card game guy either.
Really?
But I'm not really it just hasn't really been my thing. But card games are fine. Those are quicker, and they're quick paced. So I'll go with that.
You play a lot of hands.
The thing is, I think specifically the way that you've talked about board games, learning the rules of euchre or something like that, you can just, it's a good way to shoot the breeze with your friends, and you just sit there and you play and you have some drinks on a Tuesday night or whatever. It's a good reason to get together.
JB from the V chimes in. We definitely finish out Candyland in my household. Honestly, though, I make my daughter pull the cards and move all the pieces, so really I'm just there. I guess Candyland is so quick, let's just play it again.
Sure.
And
let's go.
Life is the only one I see people finishing out. Because you're kind of invested. The game of life where you get
I'd hope you'd finish out Life.
Yeah, but the board game Life. Donnie Darko over there. Finish the game of Life, the board game, because you got to see all the consequences of your actions. On that note,
you just want to see people fail later.
Well, no, because that one you just want to ride it out. But also that game, it's not about finishing. Because then at the end you add up all your assets and all that kind of stuff. There's really that's not a game about finishing first. It's about finishing with the most assets, which is really kind of life's story. Doesn't matter what you do in life; it matters with how much stuff you have at the end.
Yeah,
right. Isn't that what the game? Isn't that what board game taught us? Right.
100%. You learned it.
Right.
You are the elder of us of the show, and you are preaching. You are giving us life lessons. Thank you so much, Jim.
I'm a man. I'm 40. Isn't that the point of the, like at the end of the game, you wrap up life. You don't get points for having a family. You don't get any of that. It's all about how much did you accumulate. Whoever accumulated the most won.
I like Rob's way of playing Connect 4. We play until the board is completely filled and count how many 4s we got.
Well, that's interesting. Well, because Connect 4 is one of those games where if you're playing with kids, that's kind of like tic-tac-toe, where now my kids are both old enough where you just basically play the Cats game or whatever. Like, it just does, nothing happens. But Connect 4, there's still times where it's like, well, when do I want to win?
Do you like Jenga?
Yeah, that's a fun one for the kids.
See, and I think that you like it because it feels more aggressive because you don't necessarily win, but somebody loses.
Yes. There's that part of it too. But again, it's the time in. There's a game with like not marbles, but like stones, polished stones that my wife got me. That
Mancala.
Yeah, that one's fun to play. Again, it's one of those where it's more. I don't even mind like longer. Like we have a game like Yellowstone. It's a little bit more of like a role playing strategic. It's just a matter of I don't want it more than an hour into this. Like that's what I got for you. Monopoly.
Does anyone like Monopoly? I genuinely don't believe it's like the most sold board game of all time. Everyone has 2 or 3. It's just not good.
I don't mind it. We have like a Star Wars one. My wife is upset because she preferred to play the original. The original version.
Okay.
I didn't realize they are different. Like the Monopoly board, the board's smaller. And then obviously she's not a big Star Wars fan for the Star Wars one. And it's just a bunch of gibberish if you don't know what's going on.
That is fair. But also, I haven't completed a game of Monopoly since I was 10 years old. And I play board games.
I only like Monopoly if you can pick it up in multiple installments and come back. That's the only way you should play Monopoly.
You know, the board games we're talking about, whether it's Life or Monopoly, really give an insight into America.
They are kind of propaganda for capitalism, usually.
I could be wrong on this. I'm pretty sure that Monopoly was made as like a bit. Like people were like, this is funny how like we can make this so poignantly stupid and like show you how hard it is to succeed. And it took off. Everyone's like, oh, it's great.
Yeah, we might have stumbled onto the origins of capitalism, the stronghold it has on us.
Talk about Donnie Darko.
Board games.
Jimmy Darko.
Board games
Riveting.
is where we're at.
Are you bored?
Acquire real estate and then gouge everyone with prices. That's basically the life lesson from Monopoly. And if you have enough money, you can get out of jail for free. Right? Am I that basically it?
Nailed it. Yes.
Yes. And if you have enough money, you can become president. All right. From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes, no more, no less. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucks in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Dame, and catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now, bucks.com/plus or Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcast. Jim Molly continues.
Chicago Doppelganger. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Matt Hamilton here for Leinekugels, the craft beer that showcases a commitment to tradition and quality, founded in 1867 in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. No matter where I'm at, on the ice, on my boat, or if I'm just watching the big game, I always have a Leine's in my hand. Whether it's the refreshing summer shandy, the smooth honey vice, or my personal favorite, the juicy peach, there's a delicious flavor for every moment. Pick it up wherever you get delicious beer, but remember, you gotta be 21 years or older to enjoy.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen Report.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
From color-changing Alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Alex G, Jim Rutledge with you. Matt Hamilton curling, Molly Brown out with babies. Primetime Wollersheim here as well. As I look outside, it looks cold, but I can see the skyline, which is encouraging, which means the darkness is lifting in the area. And so,
let's go!
I think that is exciting. I actually saw something just the other day that, meteorologist Sam Cuffle. 3 weeks from today, the sun will set at 6:53.
Holy cow!
Amazing.
I have chills like that, and it's not just because it's 0 degrees outside.
6:53 in 3 weeks. That's amazing.
There was something I sent to my partner Alfie, and I was just like, home slice. In the next, it was like right at the beginning of the year, or something like that. It was like, in the next 2 months, you're gonna get 2 extra hours, 2.5 extra hours of daylight per day. I was like, oh. Let's go.
That's honestly the biggest negative for winter here.
Yes.
People are like, oh, the cold, snow. I'm always like, why do people we had Holly, one of our marketing consultants, coming over from California. I was like, oh, it's cold and snowy. Like, Holly, that ain't it. That's not the problem. It's the darkness. I lived in Florida. That's a lot of issues in Florida, less when I was there. But, it was one of those things where it was at least sunny. Even the early sunset was still 7 o'clock.
I had a friend who went to UWGB where you can go from your dorm to any class without going outside. And she did that for 2 months. Got a vitamin D deficiency and started having to take supplements. It's brutal.
It is. Also brutal right now is the fandom for Packer fans believing that Davante Adams would rather play with Jordan Love on the Packers than Rodgers on Team X. That was our first Siding Unlimited poll question. You can chime in on the Cardinals Talking text line. List is more, 844-770-3776. Poll question was, who do you think Davante Adams would rather play with next season? Jordan on the Packers, Aaron Rodgers on Team X. I guess Team X is the mitigator there, because if it's Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers, it is 100%, I think, the Steelers over the Packers, because it seems like Aaron and Davante have a good relationship. And we just had Jason Wilde on, and I think he said that, pun intended with the Taylor Swift reference here, there's no bad blood necessarily with Green Bay, but I don't think Davante's doing Green Bay any favors. So if it was all things equal and it's Rodgers and with the Steelers, or it's Justin Herbert and Chargers and be back home or back to Green Bay might come in third there.
I don't hate that. And plus, here's the thing, right? Like, we love Davante here in Green Bay, and there's a lot of reason for him to come back. It's going to be cheaper cost of living. There's things like that. But, like, we're sitting here
got a lot of money
on a day where it's negative 7 degrees or whatever. You think he wouldn't rather play in a dome?
Well, here's the other question. Primetime threw this out as a Siding Unlimited poll question. A third hypothetical landing spot for Davante. Would he rather play with Jordan Love on the Packers or Justin Herbert with the Chargers? This one's actually more insane. Love on the Packers. Again, fans, here's how I look at it.
Well, you didn't throw out the results there. It's
I'm sorry.
close.
56% Love on the Packers, 44% Herbert with the Chargers.
For our fan base, that's pretty 50. That's darn equal.
Yeah, but I just want to.
So you don't think that there's a chance, if the same contract came up for both, that he would rather play for the Packers?
So here's why I look at it. I think Davante Adams, I shouldn't say I think, Davante Adams absolutely enjoyed his time playing for the Green Bay Packers, without a doubt. His friends are gone. He's got no friends hanging. Not saying that these people, the players on his team, but like his teammates, his buddies, all gone. And then he's left with the regime he has left over is the coaching staff who deemed him not worthy to fight to keep around, and the GM who thought he wasn't good enough to keep around. Now, again, I don't, as Jason Wilde would have more insight than me, doesn't seem like Davante would hold a grudge on that. But loving his time in Green Bay and loving the fans is different than this isn't the Packers he played for. His teammates aren't around. His boys aren't around. Like, it is a different organization he's stepping into. So there's that part of it. So then you look at it, and if all things are equal, I think he would take, like, the Chargers, if the pay is equal and the years are equal, is a better situation for him. Justin Herbert, to me, is a better, more proven quarterback than Jordan Love. He's had to do it longer, and he's been doing it at a better level longer. His QB rating is higher. His completion percentage is higher. His yards per season are higher. He's thrown for 5,000 yards in the season. Jordan Love's never hit 4,000. And then he's also had multiple head coaches, I think 5 OCs during his time in Los Angeles, and now he has Jim Harbaugh, who is a proven quarterback guy. He's got Colin Kaepernick to win. He's gotten quarterbacks at Michigan to win. He's won everywhere he's been and gotten the most out of those quarterbacks. So the Chargers are also closer to home for him, and the Chargers, I would think, we'll just call it a net zero with the Packers when you account for division and you account for quality of the roster and coaching and all that. I feel like those two teams are equals. So if all things are equal, even if you just said everything is equal, being close to home would tilt it, I think, to Los Angeles' favor. Now, if the Packers have a slightly better offer, let's say a 15% better offer, or 20, then I think that Davante would take the Green Bay.
That's a big jump. I think that there also could be, and we don't know, right? Like, I don't know what his relationship was with Jordan Love, but there's a chance that he was there at practice with Jordan Love, building reports, because, Rodgers wasn't playing on Wednesdays, and I know that Davante probably got a lot of those Wednesdays off for veteran leave as well, but, like, there's a chance that he saw some things and he has rapport there, and he's like, you know what? I like this Love kid. I could see it.
When was the last time Davante was in Green Bay?
I will say, I believe I think he had an interview when he left, when he got traded to the Raiders initially. Part of it was because he felt like he didn't want to stay with the Packers if he wasn't sure Aaron was going to be around still. Like, definitely at the time, the way that Davante talked about it is that he felt like Love wasn't ready in his eyes, and he didn't want to continue playing in his prime with him.
And that genuinely could be the case, right? Like I don't know, and I'm not saying that I know.
No,
or that
I think
have
he
an
think.
idea.
Well, he did say that. That's definitely.
But he also was probably talking about his best friend Aaron Rodgers.
Well, he said this when he went to Vegas. So if anything, he was talking about Carr. But that being said, your point would then be null and void. He might believe in Jordan Love now, but I don't think they were friends. Also, his last year in Green Bay was 2021, and again, to the point of what kind of free time do they have, I'm sure he thinks Jordan's a nice guy. They're not friends. Jordan does not come across as a gregarious guy who's buddy-buddy with everyone, which is fine. So I would say, again, Davante, for all intents and purposes, doesn't really know anyone on the player side of thing in that building.
I think there's a lot to that's
so
true.
Again, the advantage
Matt
for the
LaFleur's
Packers
there, and he knows Matt LaFleur. He did 2 years with Matt LaFleur. He had great seasons there.
True, but
1,500 yarder.
I don't think that's going to sway. I think what would sway it for Green Bay more than anything else would just be loving the fans. But I think if all things are equal, he's not picking Green Bay. If the offers are equal, I do not think Davante Adams will pick Green Bay.
I did scour up a quote from Davante Adams.
Yep.
This is more recently when he must have been after he had been traded away from the Raiders. This was on Max Crosby's podcast, The Rush with Max Crosby.
Okay.
Hopefully he does that in Green Bay one day. But at the time,
join the jump around.
There we go. Hey, everyone can join the jump around, right, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely.
If Max Crosby wants to come on, he can come. Aaron Rodgers, if he wants to come on, he can come on. But Davante on Max Crosby's podcast, this was, quote, "At the time when I was in Green Bay, I hadn't necessarily seen enough from Love to say this is for sure what I should do. But in hindsight, this kid is a baller. I'm so happy for him. I hadn't really had a chance to truly sit down with him, but I wanted to tell him at some point. I definitely don't regret changing, but I'm super proud of what you've done. And if there's a way I could pull you over here and drag you with me, that would be cool too."
How is he friends with Aaron Rodgers? I just like he sounds so genuine and grounded and nice, like very thoughtful. Aaron, very thoughtful. I don't know if it's necessarily always directed well.
When you're a professional and your working relationship is that good with someone, you probably start to like them as a person a bit too. I mean, they were a very successful pairing.
951 chimes in. Put your name on it, please. The Rutledge Packers hate is heavy in the air on the Adams situation. Him and Jacobs are boys, fellas.
Very true.
Davante's friends with a lot of people. 951. My whole point is that the Los Angeles position and the Green Bay position, as far as quarterback, team play, coaching, all of that are dead equals. And so if the money's dead equal, I think Davante would choose to play at home. So great, 951. You named one guy in Josh Jacobs that Davante Adams is friends with.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
Should also point out that the 951 area code is located in Southern California and covers most of Riverside County.
Oh, so maybe it's Davante chiming in.
Oh,
but
what?
Here's the thing. I don't care. Like, I don't think Davante Adams makes the Packers a Super Bowl contender. Like, if I'm a Bears fan afraid of the Packers making a move, it's Myles Garrett. Like, that's the move where I say that move is a dramatic program-shifting move for the Green Bay Packers. Me saying that Davante Adams wanting to play with a team that is equal to the Green Bay Packers, if not better, out closer to home, because he doesn't know a lot of people. I'm sure if we looked at the Chargers roster, there's a couple people on that roster that Davante's friends with. I'm not saying... So my point is, the allure to Green Bay, we have to remember, this Green Bay Packers team, for all intents and purposes, is full of a bunch of people he doesn't know that well. So the draw to Green Bay for him, which was a compliment to Green Bay, but some people can't always hear it through their "I'm always mad" filter, is that it would be the fans. It would be wanting to play for Green Bay fans again. I don't think he's dying. Like, I'm going to go back to Matt LaFleur. I'm going to go back to Goody. I think he would say, I loved playing in Green Bay, and I do think Jordan Love's a good quarterback, and the Packers are offering me 10% better deal than the Chargers. I'll go play in Green Bay. If the Chargers and the Packers offer the exact same deal, he might say, hey, both these situations are great. I love being back home. I want to be back home. That's where I grew up. And to play for a team in Los Angeles
again,
and play for Justin Herbert and Harbaugh, and it's all the same, I think you take it.
I do want to, it is still 7 hours from his high school to SoFi Stadium.
Okay, but it's not even close. Okay, how far to Green Bay?
Oh, right. A flight.
And
Either way, it's a flight.
And it is a what word would you use? A schism between Green Bay and California as far as where Davante, like the lifestyle?
Oh, very true. They are very different, but if he wants to focus in on ball and do his thing.
But again, the Chargers are equally as good, if not better. So again, focus in on ball and go to a team that is as good as the Packers. I'm not saying he would choose the, let's say, the Titans over the Packers. I would think that, honestly, if I'm making a bet right now, it comes down to those two teams, the Chargers and the Packers. He's not going to just pick any trash team. Now, if the Packers disrespect him with a bad offer, that's a different story.
And that's just what is going to happen. And I feel like Davante's going to roll his eyes and be like, Goody, still Goody. And he's going to take the offer.
Here's the thing. I think it's more of that offer's never coming.
Oh, come on.
No, I think that is the more likely scenario. That offer never gets in front of Davante. And honestly, Davante is smart enough to start putting this info out there to let people know he ain't the bad guy. He could be doing all of this as a burn and smear campaign against Goody because he's going to come out and say, I would love to play Green Bay. I'll tell the world I want to play for Green Bay. And then when Green Bay doesn't make him an offer and then he goes and plays somewhere else, and then he's not the bad guy. The Packers still look like the bad guy.
I don't know if people are that petty. I know people are. I don't know if he is.
Well, he could be not petty. Like it's a win-win. I put it out there. They look like idiots because they didn't offer me, or I end up where I want to be in Green Bay.
True.
Win-win.
If Goody doesn't offer him, is that a failing as a GM?
So do we ask this question, another Saturday Limited poll question? Will you be
for 4?
Will you be mad? Will you be what's your feeling? I say, will you be mad if the Packers don't offer Davante Adams a contract?
Well, I think they would have to offer him a contract.
A lucrative contract.
Yeah.
Fair market contract.
Fair market.
Contract.
We could ask that, though. I do know that question's been asked multiple times by other shows.
Well, you know what? People steal from us all the time. We also can just ask you right now on the phone line, 844-770-3776, Carl's Talking text line. List is more. Or you can ask like this. I don't think the Packers are going to make an offer. I don't think the Packers are going to trade for Myles Garrett. I don't think they're going to go for Max Crosby. I don't think they're going to go and make a real offer to Davante Adams. Here's what I think they're going to do. I think, we saw this on ESPN, that they said Khalil Mack could be the perfect fit, or the Packers are the perfect fit for a guy like Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack makes sense. It's not like a bad sign. If they sign the Green Bay, if the Packers sign Khalil Mack, that's a good. They improved their team.
Maybe one of his buddies from San Diego or from Los Angeles, the Chargers.
Yeah. So but that would be a good signing. A Keenan Allen type, Cooper Kupp, like a smart, heady receiver who knows how to get open. That would be good.
I am interested in Cooper Kupp. I think that he's shown that he still has the wiggle and the gas in the tank. Keenan Allen, I'm a little more worried about because, again, very consistent, great hands, but he doesn't elevate the room the way that somebody else could, and that's what the Packers need. And again, you're right, Goody probably not going to do it. I'm mad about Goody.
Brett
Felt like Green Bay to me.
is the name there. So thanks for getting in the show, Brett. This is Jim Matt Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Dinner just got easier and tastier. Pizza Hut's Ultimate Hut Bundle is here to save the day. Starting at just $24.99, you can get any 2 medium pizzas, 8 boneless wings in your favorite flavor, and your choice of cinnamon, cheese, or breadsticks with 2 dips. Feed the family or wow your friends without breaking the bank. The Ultimate Hut Bundle is only here for a limited time. Hurry in and order online today at pizzahut.com. The Ultimate Hut Bundle. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 100.5 ESPN.
Lillard's going to tee up a three, and he splashes it through for the left wing.
Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
All-Star Weekend has come and gone for the NBA, and when it comes to Damian Lillard's quest for a three-peat in the NBA's All-Star three-point contest, the magic wasn't quite there, and he did not advance out of the first round. In the mini-tournament of sorts for the All-Star game itself, Damian Lillard on Team Shaq winning the title. Meanwhile, Giannis once again deciding not to play to rest his sore calf. As for what's ahead, here's Dame on the rest of the season.
But I think the number one thing for us is going to be our health. We got to be on the floor together so that we can, get things completely figured out, and then we got to do it for a longer period of time.
Bucks are back in action on Thursday night, taking on the Clippers at Fiserv Forum before a big game against Chris Middleton and the Wizards in D.C. on Friday night.
This has been your Milwaukee Basketball Report on Madison's home for Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
At Metro Ford of Madison, we're making it easier than ever to find the Ford of your dreams. Check out this month's unbeatable offers, like the 2024 Ford F-150 with 3.9% APR for 66 months, plus $2,000 flex buy cash, $60.86 cost per thousand. Or drive off in the 2024 Ford Escape with 1.9% APR for 66 months, plus $2,000 flex buy cash, $15.97 cost per thousand. Hurry, these offers end February 28th. Head to Metro Ford of Madison today or visit metrofordofmadison.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot like the prodigal son. Big up Bartolini, meeny, money, mo, and flower, you're the chosen one.
Jim, Matt, Molly continues. Live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Alex G. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
He's Alex G. I am Jim Rutledge. I haven't looked up at what's supposed to be a little clock in the corner. This is the skyline up there. It was a little bit, I was like, what is on the tiny computer screen in the corner?
This happened in the last, 5 minutes.
Okay.
We had the clock up. I don't know. Ryan's texting away at someone, probably Jody, our IT guy or something.
Not even remotely. No. How would I know the clock in there isn't working before you guys even tell me?
Well, I'm saying you're good enough.
Doesn't it mirror a clock in your room?
No.
Oh, yeah, it is a skyline now, isn't it?
It does?
Oh,
yes.
It's pretty.
Wow.
With nothing in here, Alex, just behind the curtain, nothing in here is on its own. Like, this is a mirror, that's a mirror. Like, everything's mirroring the computers.
This is glass.
Yeah.
This is
but
glass.
I just mean that, like,
the two-way mirror.
There's not an actual, computer. This is just a screen mirroring the screen that Ryan's on. And then up there is a screen that mirrors another screen that's in there.
That one I didn't think about. This one I knew about. We have two real TVs over here, and one on the front. No, those two I've watched stuff on. The one on the front, which you can't see, and this is useless even for our YouTube viewers.
That's for me.
Never seen it on in my life.
It's for me.
Yeah, it's later on in the night. Ryan, can sit there and take psychedelics and just watch whatever he wants.
This would be
screen.
such an uncomfortable spot to sit and watch TV. If you're watching on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream, you can see me sitting in my producer's chair. I have to peer over a rail and through the glass, through the pretty dirty, grimy glass. I'll be honest.
You guys don't come in there?
No, there's a lot of fingerprints on here.
Who's fingering up the glass?
Whoa!
Well, sometimes I got to tap on the glass to get your guys' attention.
We're wearing headphones.
You don't always have them on, which makes it tough, G.
You can talk into the room, too. I was the producer for a long time. I know how that board works.
When was the last time that you think that space was taken with disinfectant wipes everywhere? When was the last time you think that space was wiped down?
You could say that about the whole office, I'd assume.
I wipe down the studio probably monthly.
I wipe down my desk, but I eat at my desk.
Do you wipe down the studio or just your area?
I wipe down the whole table.
Oh, wow.
I'll reorganize it.
Very kind.
I'll get some stuff out of it.
All right.
Well, the clutter throws me off.
I'll guess this. The glass that's between us, that has not been wiped down since, June of last year.
So one of the things, I asked that question. Well, I'm old, and I've been here for a long time. When I was, so I guess be happy that the hall monitor is a filthy pig like the rest of you. No, but Okay. That you guys never clean up in there because that was one of the things that I had on a checklist was that you had to, you cleaned it. I was part of it, too. You clean it once a month. You didn't have to go crazy. You just take a disinfectant wipe down all the counter, wipe down the board, wipe down the computer parts, wipe down the screen, make sure there's not fingerprints everywhere. Just make it not a disgusting pit of humanity.
I don't know who it is. Somebody on that team of our awesome producers makes everything just a little sticky, and there's like a film on the mouse in particular. Look at the mouse right now, Ryan, and tell me that the one in your left hand by the computer with the stack.
Yeah, that's the one in my right hand here.
Okay, it looks gross.
I mean, the bottom is it could be cleaned off.
Anyway.
The top, I don't see a film. Yeah, I'm noticing it on some of the other mics in here, though, now that you mention it. Yeah. It's not the cleanest.
I've also wiped down the actual mic parts too.
Yeah, I'll say that. In here, and I think in most of the production rooms, we don't clean the way you're talking about. We tidy up. We just get rid of clutter. But yeah, we don't ever go in with actual disinfectant.
And it wasn't crazy. It was just once a month, just wipe it down a little bit. Because when I moved here from West Palm to Beaver Dam, and the studio went in there, it was the most disgusting place on the face of the earth. I don't think it was ever it had inches of.
So this is West Palm to Beaver Dam.
To Beaver Dam. So when I got to Beaver Dam, there was inches of dust and grime and dirt on everything. In there.
So wait, Beaver Dam was dirtier than West Palm?
Yeah,
that's a low bar.
It's not Miami. It's not Miami. It's West Palm.
Yeah, no, West Palm was pretty clean. We had someone, one Evan Cohen, a little bit of a
type A,
a little bit keep things clean sort of thing. Steve Politziner from the Stephen Craig Show here in ESPN Madison. Also one that, organized. Let's keep things looking nice. It was a small space there. Then there was another person that nobody here is going to know, but Mike Goldstein was incredibly type A and would wipe down his space when he'd do the show and everything like that. So it was just a little bit more of, hey, this is your workspace. This is a shared workspace. Let's make sure it's all clean.
Speaking of workspaces, let's throw some stones.
No. The must have only told that to me.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna
bump it to the next segment.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, G doesn't always listen. What can we do?
Why
guys?
you're not talking to me? I can't listen when you're only talking to Jim.
Would you like for me to talk in your ear while you're trying to talk to Jim?
Here's the thing, Alex. I'll say the same thing with Matt. It's fun when you guys try, but let me drive because sometimes I know things you guys don't. Not only because Ryan's telling them to me, but Ryan gave me the plan. He popped in my ear and said, "We're moving it." And I said, "Okay, we'll move it."
I was just trying to be helpful.
I got it.
Just trying to be helpful.
Your attempt. We appreciate the attempt.
Do we though? It's like if you're driving a car and someone just grabs it and tries to make a right turn all of a sudden.
I hit the blinker. All right, that's what I did.
That's a good analogy actually. Yeah,
he
did
all
try
the way
to
to
signal.
speak it up and let's throw some and cut him off throwing stones. He started to turn the wheel a little bit.
He might have touched the wheel. He grazed the wheel. Yes.
Yeah.
And we slapped his hand. It's fine.
Yeah.
He learned his lesson.
Yeah.
I'm back on the music game. All right, we're gonna listen to something else.
What?
I don't I can control the music. I'm passenger.
Huh? What?
I'm doing my best, guys.
It's the analogy, Jim.
I'm
we're
just
driving
being
cars.
thrown under the bus.
Oh.
Ah.
Rutledge is an idiot guy. One says, honestly, I don't want Adams back. I'm not interested in padding stats or a feel-good story. I want someone younger, Higgins, Kupp, who will turn this receiving room around. I don't know about under 30. I don't know about Kupp's age. Higgins would. I do agree with him on this.
Higgins would be great.
Higgins is a move the Packers won't make historically, but it is a move that would. So I said Myles Garrett. T. Higgins would be in that. Changes the trajectory of the team.
Absolutely.
Because if you add a guy, and I know we got to get the break here, but if you had a guy like Adams or Mack or some of these, or Keenan Allen or even Kupp, I think Kupp's older. I could be wrong on that. But if you add some of these players, all you're doing is you're getting better, but are you getting better at a clip that is a higher growth rate than the other teams you're going against? So okay, you get Davante Adams, you're better. But what about the Lions who have cap space, who have been good at drafting, and they could make some moves all of a sudden and be right there with you? What about the Vikings if they keep Sam Darnold and have some other, or what happens if they have all the space after Sam Darnold and they make some smart moves and J.J. McCarthy turns out to be okay? I'm trying to think of other playoff. Philadelphia is already in front of you.
Philadelphia is such a good front office, man.
So Green Bay, and to Rutledge's and idiot guy's point, Green Bay needs to make moves, understanding that they are. If we just did it, I don't mean literally wins away, But if they are they need to act like they're 4 wins away from Philadelphia.
Amari Cooper is the guy who I think they could sign who can win you a game or two. He's not going to be the reason you win a bunch of games. That's where I think, Green Bay could make their splash. These other guys, Cooper Kupp, 31 years old, he's very talented. He can make the team better for a short while. I think that Davante is still better than him. T. Higgins would be the one that, okay, we are cementing ourselves. This is Jordan Love's guy for a long time.
Yep.
And that would be great. Again, I agree with you. It won't happen.
T. Higgins, Myles Garrett, those are two guys that changed the trajectory for the Packers dramatically into next season. Other players are just slightly getting you better. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
We're on the Badgers.
I ain't going to be scared to say that this team can make a Final Four.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
This team's good enough. They are.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Staying on Wisconsin sports never stops with the Jump Around podcast.
I don't know if they're a Final Four team, and maybe this is just setting the bar a little low for me ever since I've watched the Badgers, since I've covered the Badgers. I think just making it to the second weekend. Obviously, you want to go all the way, but just make it to the Sweet 16.
If they make the Sweet 16 this year, it's an A+. Like, it is an A+ season for Badger basketball if they make the Sweet 16.
The Jump Around podcast with Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias. Streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions. Get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
We're on the Badgers.
Who would have thought after 2 seasons?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That Greg Gard would have less of a hot seat than Luke Fickell.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Go be a winner. Go to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. So what are you waiting for? Go be a winner and go to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. He's Alex G. I am Jim Rutledge. Primetime Waller Shine behind the glass. And now we're going to throw some stones. I know what stone I want to throw.
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All right, and Alex G, I think we were talking about a stone a little bit before the show. What did you have for us?
Well, okay, really quick before we get to it, Jim, you said you want to throw a stone?
Yeah, I was kidding you last segment.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
got it. Fine.
You're trying to drive the car.
I'm not stoned. For
I
those
tried to
wondering.
give you the steering wheel, and you just took your hands off.
Well,
and said,
listen,
take the wheel.
I'm now worried about steering. Okay, it's all Jim. No, today we overheard that one of our office teammates was going to the dentist, and we all got confused because at first we thought she was talking about a dentist in a house, like just in the flat, like a downstairs flat of an apartment, and it got me thinking, like, what businesses are you comfortable going to that are in like a flat style? And Ryan, you seemed pretty jazzed about this. Do you got anything for us?
I will say that there's no way I want to go to any business that is in a former home that's converted to an office or business space. The only time I would be willing to do that if it's like a bakery or if it's a dry cleaner giving away Oreos.
Yes,
one or the
obviously,
other.
So,
obviously.
I want to get to my stone in a minute. My favorite spot that I went to get coffee was in Dubuque, Iowa. It was a bar converted into a coffee shop. But the bar was a bar that was definitely in a house first. So it was a bar that was basically in a house that was really old that then was converted into a coffee shop. I think it has to fit the area. So, I live in Oregon. Yeah, off-putting if it's in a house. If downtown Madison, it's not out of left field. But I want to. Do we have my stone ready?
We do have the audio that which you wanted to play for your stone.
So we had this big to-do when I was out.
Exactly 1 week ago today.
Exactly 1 week ago today.
Jim Rutledge, he is out with the sniffles, and he kind of made my morning much harder because of it. What? So last night he texts Jesse Nelson, and he and I are at the Great Dane. Jim texts Jesse saying, "I'm sick." Jesse looks at me, he's like, "All right, you might be on for tomorrow. We're not going to tell you until like midday tomorrow." Thank goodness they text me bright and early in the morning before I even woke up because my alarm didn't go off, which is a weird one for me. I was super late, but then not only was I late to work, I forgot. Jim took my badge yesterday, to get in and out of the building. What? He took my badge because he needed to go down to the third floor to get snacks or whatever in the middle of the day, and then he took it home with him. So now I've got my badge at Jim Rutledge's house because he never brings his own badge.
Yeah, I will say, I'm not here, most of the day. I show up around 3, but yeah, I constantly see texts from Jim in our ESPN group chat. Can someone let me up from the first floor?
Which I learned today.
Constantly.
He has the group chat muted himself, so when I ask for the same help,
he'll never see it.
No,
yeah.
Not a chance.
First of all, Matt, shut up. You're barely here. So,
I'm a nut.
On that note, though, I would like to point out, A, the badge was here, and then B, what happened? Was it yesterday?
Monday morning.
Monday morning. What happened, Alex?
I didn't have my badge.
There you go.
Because I don't have my badge from time to time.
Rubbish. Same.
How many times do I come get you, Jim?
You are great coming to get me. You started this. You're the one that came after me. I'm just pointing out.
And I joined the show to apologize publicly because I found my badge thrown under my computer.
What time did you get the text? Because for the record, I texted Jesse at 7:55 in the morning on Tuesday that I was going to be out.
Really? Was that late?
7:55 in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow, okay. I overslept longer than I thought I did. I woke, again, my alarm didn't go off. I was really thrown for a loop. I woke up and I looked to see if I had that text right away. And so I did.
What's the latest you could sleep, Ryan? Like last week I slept in a lot. As much as I could, still had to get the kids to school. Stupid kids. So I still got woken up. So then a lot of times I might fall asleep back on the couch. But in general, I think on Saturday or the Sunday of the Super Bowl, I wasn't feeling well that Sunday either. And I think I slept probably, 8 o'clock, which is really late for me.
So what's the longest I could sleep in, essentially?
Like you go to bed at your normal time.
If I'm going to bed at my normal time and I'm not going to bed without any unusual substances in my system, something that I'm not used to, maybe it's a long weekend, I would say the longest I could sleep into is 7:45.
Okay.
At the absolute latest. And that's if I'm real tired.
9:30.
Wow, good for you.
I'm up until midnight every night though. At least.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I'm a night owl at this age.
Not me.
I was. I feel like I'm up late more in the summer than the winter. Winter, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
What are we doing? It's been dark for 7 hours already. Might as well go to sleep. All right, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.